We're winding it down here on Old Man Squad Fantasy Basketball, but fear not, there's a whole off season of programming yet to come. Hello, by the way, I'm Dan Vespers. Thanks for watching, everybody. I keep going back and forth on what the right format is this time of year. I don't think there's a good answer. On Monday, we did the specialist episode, which I thought was useful here for this final week, but there's no real point in updating that. Yesterday, we did a show on Roto strategy for the final week because there were only 2 box scores to go over. I think the move today is to actually just go through yesterday's games and see if anything new jumped out that we might be able to use down the stretch. So that's the way I'm going to lean with today's show, and you guys are stuck with it. First things first, however, my bookie, they're back, baby. They got more going down. You want to know what's going down? I think it starts tomorrow, if I'm remembering right. The Masters are back. It's a tradition unlike any other. I'll mess that up. There's money to be made. It's golf's most iconic tournament. Tees off this week, and my bookie is the ultimate spot to cash in on every swing, every upset, and every Sunday charge. Outrights, matchups, live betting, long shot bombs with my bookie's money bag. If there's an edge, you'll find it here. Not only that, but this weekend is also UFC 314. I think you just call it 314, but I wanted to really stress how many that's been. If you're new to my bookie, I've got something you're going to want to take advantage of. Deposit any amount, $50 up to $2,000, and get half matched instantly with promo code MM50. Still the same promo code. No waiting. You don't need to bet on something to get the bonus. Just bonus cash right away. So if you've got a read on Augusta, green jacket time, baby, or just looking to take advantage of a Michael Chandler boost for UFC 315, now's the time to fire away. My bookie, bet anytime, anything, anywhere, only with my bookie. I also have an announcement, but we're going to save that for a couple minutes in. Let's look at yesterday's card. We're going to move through it at a pretty good clip. There are a lot of ball games, and there's not that much stuff that changed. So expect this one to be, I think we can get this done in under 20 minutes. It's a ballsy call, but I'm all about it. Because, watch how fast this is. Atlanta, nothing. Karis LeVert's probably a points stream? Question mark? I don't know. I mean, is that the only thing? He's been playing, like he's been back for a while now after a couple days off. There's no surprises, really. He's averaging like 14, 15 points over the last week and a half. I mean, you get like three rebounds, 3 assists as well. Is that new? Not really. It's nothing else with Atlanta. Orlando, monster game out of Wendell Carter Jr. I don't know where this came from, and if you missed it, you missed it. Corey Joseph, you're not doing anything with. KCP's been running hot from three-point land lately. This is one of those windows where he's playable, but you know the 60 to 70% shooting is not going to stick for... I mean, I guess it could stick for 2 or 3 ball games. That's how much we've got left here. But, yeah, I mean, specialist appeal? Steals and threes? It was just steals, so at least he's added 3-pointers to the mix. Wendell Carter Jr. is a rebounding specialist. If you're looking at this game and you're like, oh, it's go time on Carter, I've got bad news for you. These 6 steals he had in yesterday's game is more than he had in the previous month combined. Wendell Carter Jr. had a 3-steal game on March 31st. Outside of that, he did not have a steal since March 6th. It's more than a month ago. He had 3 steals over the last month, and then he had 6 yesterday. The 3 blocks, a little bit more repeatable. Like, he'll hover around a block a game. I think, at least lately, that's been the story over the last month. He's at about 1 block per ball game. He's outside the top 100 over that stretch, despite this ridiculous game hyperinflating his stats over the last month. You're just getting the 7 to 8 rebounds. That's all you're hunting for with him. If you get a block, great. Otherwise, move on. Chicago got beat down, but the good news is that Modest Buzelis is doing enough here down the stretch to be utilized. And this is a game where everybody sat for the Bulls anyway. So this was an extra special one. Don't read too much into it. Vooch was out. He'll be back. Kobe White will probably be back. Kevin Herter will probably be back. There's just Josh Giddey will probably be back. The only guy on this list, you can look at all the names. Patrick Williams had a nice one. Who cares? Javon Carter did well. Who cares? Jalen Smith. He's got a great fantasy game, but he's buried. Zach Collins didn't. Oh, he played. He just came off the bench. Vooch comes back, and all of that goes down the toilet. Taylor Norton Tucker, no. The only one of these guys you're keeping an eye on is Buzelis, because at least he's, the Bulls are starting to give him a little bit more opportunity. He's probably going to sit outside the top 100, but if you need threes and blocks from the young guy who's got a little athleticism, he's kind of an interesting combo there. Cavaliers, they haven't had a fantasy story basically since the second day of the year. Nothing's changed for them in forever. They've got Indy and New York back-to-back tomorrow and the day after. I would assume someone's going to get part of those off. Donovan Mitchell got this one off. Darius Garland will probably get the next one off. What does that mean? It means it's Ty Jerome time from now until the end of the year, most likely. Max Strus, kind of like a couple of points, couple of threes, couple of assists, couple of boards, kind of streamer type of dude. But again, you're hunting specialists right now, and so you probably want to lean more to Jerome for the points, the assists, the threes. That combination is just a little bit more interesting. Memphis blew out Charlotte. No one should be surprised by that. Ja Morant is back, so Scottie Pippen Jr. takes the big hit. This game was over early. I don't have any additional thoughts other than, Zach Edey is cruising right now, because now that they're running pick and roll, he's useful. It's amazing what an offensive alignment shift. He's getting the Ivica Zubac treatment now. I still don't really know what to tell you to do with Santi Aldama, other than probably just keep playing him and close your eyes. As far as Charlotte goes, Mark Williams got the start, but he wasn't very good in this game. That's unusual. He's been generally solid. KJ Simpson got ejected, and he's been a pretty good source of assists and steals lately, but not to be. I always think of that scene at the beginning of Last Action Hero where it's Arnold as the actor doing other acting roles. What is that? Is that Macbeth? To be or not to be? And then he flicks a cigar and blows up a building and then says, not to be. That's a great sequence. Who cares is my ultimate note here on Charlotte. Although, it's worth noting that Mark Williams is going to sit the back-to-back. So if Nurkic is in, you might get a one-game Nurk. If he's out, you might get a one-game Diabate. Jordan Poole played 19 minutes, and that was enough. Good to see Keyshawn George back, though. Probably pick him up for whatever games the Wizards play him in. Maybe Chicago, maybe the Friday-Sunday set. That's good. Justin Champagnie, they're finally cutting him loose here at the end of the year. He had 20 and 13 with 4 threes. I love Justin Champagnie's fantasy game. I still don't know if we can fully trust his minutes are going to stick, but the Wizards are now so deep into this sort of end-of-the-year look that I think it's a brazen call, but I think I'm good with playing Champagnie even against the games cap. Bub Carrington, more of a points, boards, assists play because he doesn't do a whole lot else besides those things. So not really a games cap guy, but you could, if you're hunting those particular stats. Poole is out. We know that on the back-to-back. George, we don't know if he's playing in the back-to-back or not. If he's in, I think he's a guy you could just play basically in all formats. And if he's not, you sit on him for the next one. Pascal Siakam was back, so that, Obi Toppin still had an okay game, but if we were hoping to deploy him, it just wasn't going to be the time or place. And there are no other surprises with Indiana, so we move on. Boston beat New York. They played their horses in this one, and then they'll rest their horses today. We already learned that Boston is sitting everybody against Orlando. They wanted to make a point against the Knicks before they're like, all right, everybody's out. So the good news there is you're going to get a Peyton Pritchard mega game. You're going to get a Sam Hauser game. You're going to get a Luke Cornett game. The fill-ins are ready to rumble. The only problem, of course, is that Orlando plays pretty good defense, so that might kind of put a little bit of a thorn into it. And as far as the Knicks go, they've got their guys back. So now you don't have to worry about anything there. And boy, do they play them. This was an overtime game. So I guess it's a good sign that Josh Hart only logged 47 and a half minutes. Yee. Before we get to New Orleans and Brooklyn, it's announcement time. I already put this up on my Twitter feed, but I want to take a moment to welcome to the old man squad my good friend Noah Rubin. You guys have seen him on our show a number of times. He is officially now bringing his show, a brand new show called The Young Man Squad. How awesome is that? To the Old Man Squad Network. I guess folks shouldn't be surprised because I believe Adam King, who I already told you last week, is bringing his shows over, and Noah Rubin have combined to make, I think, 17 or 18 guest appearances on my show. And it's kind of like, all right, let's just form a super team and take our talents to South Beach. This is going to be amazing. So it's coming to our YouTube page. Noah's also going to have his own podcast feed. Again, it's called the Young Man Squad Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Yes, it works basically in direct. I mean, it's sort of like it butts heads with my show, but they work together because for Noah, it's going to be analyzing dynasty fantasy basketball, young players, long-term outlook kind of stuff, where you guys know my show, I am redraft only. I draft old players who are not shiny. They're fantastic for redraft, and they make very little sense in dynasty because you don't want to be stuck with them for more than 1 year at a time because you want to be able to reassess those old dudes every single season. This is, and was, frankly, now it's not anymore, a massive hole in our offering here at Old Man Squad, and Noah is fixing that. So between last week where we brought on Kingy, who's a head-to-head expert, and Noah, who is a dynasty expert, their shows, and again, if you want to get them, they're going to have video elements, so that's going to be on our YouTube page. That's the easiest place to get all of our stuff. My shows, Kingy's shows, Noah's shows, they'll all be here on our YouTube page, along with Brenton's DFS shows, which wrap up this week, but I know you guys have been enjoying those throughout the season. Baseball shows, we'll have more stuff as we go, and this is all off season long for basketball, which for Dynasty, this is like the time to do stuff. The draft happens, free agency happens, you got to be all over these types of things through the offseason, because that's when you can make some moves. First episode drops 13 days from today, right here on our YouTube page. It's going to be running all offseason long. Episodes are going to be coming multiple times per week. Welcome to the Old Man Squad, my good buddy Noah Rubin. I'm so happy to have both Noah and Kingy jumping aboard with us here at Old Man Squad. We are going to grow this sucker like you would not believe. And I know you guys want me to get back to the fantasy stuff, but like, without taking too long in this little journey to the side here, I don't know how well I can express this, over the damn moon at the way things are going in this network that I started almost a year ago. Little less than a year ago. It was around this time that I knew it was time for me to sort of venture out and do something on my own. And now I'm not on my own. I started a thing, and it's very like fantasy field of dreams for me. If you build it, they will come, and the good folks are coming, and you guys have been amazing. The listeners, the fans. Noah's podcast feed his shows won't be on my RSS, so they won't be for you audio listeners. You'll have to subscribe to his show separately. Again, Young Man Squad Fantasy Basketball Podcast. I think it's actually up on iTunes and Spotify already. But YouTubers, you'll get it all right here. They'll be in playlists. You'll get it when they drop. You can sort it by which shows you want to listen to when. It's going to be a freaking wingding. Now, how do I get this back? There we go. I knew I could figure it out. Let's talk about New Orleans and Brooklyn. New Orleans is leaning pretty hard into the tank. Kelly Olynyk played, but only played 22 minutes. Yves Missy played, but only played 19 minutes. This is a game the Pelicans really wanted to make sure they lost. So Alfred Payton got 10 assists. Jose Alvarado played a whopping 23 minutes. Antonio Reeves got 30. I'm worried that this is what it's going to look like for New Orleans the rest of the way. But they play a Milwaukee team that's going to be trying to beat them, a Miami team that's going to be trying to beat them, and then an OKC team that's probably going to be resting everybody on the last day. So the next two games for the Pels, they might be able to use their veterans a little bit longer. I just don't know if there's a safe direction to go with this team, and there's not really much time to analyze it. So I'm inclined to say punt on the Pels, top to bottom. I thought if Missy would play more. Maybe he's a guy you can hang on to a little bit longer. Missy, and then Reeves if you need points, I guess. But like, I was hoping we'd get more Carlo Matkovic, and he played well in this one, but he's still stuck coming off the bench behind a bunch of guys playing 20 minutes apiece. And there's just not enough time for me to be like, well, let's see how the next game goes, and then we'll make an assessment. But that is kind of where I am with these guys. And that's the way I've been with Brooklyn for 2 freaking months. Let's see how the next game goes, and maybe we can make a call. Nope. 1-1 Brooklyn net cleared 30 minutes in yesterday's game. It was Reese Beekman, which sounds like a completely made-up name for like the villain in a sports movie. But no, he's a pass-first point guard playing for the Brooklyn Nets right now. Had 4 boards, 10 assists, 3 steals, and did not score a point. Nick Claxton played only 17 minutes as they again try to lose basketball games. There is no real obvious backup center on this club right now. Drew Timme is probably the closest thing you got to it. I don't want anything to do with a single player on the Brooklyn Nets. I think you can drop every stinking one of them because you don't know what you're going to get on any given day. This Lakers Thunder game was a weird one. I didn't get to watch it live, but I got to watch a bunch of stuff this morning. Luka Doncic ejected for arguing with a fan. Okay. Ball game was tied basically at that point. I think the Lakers were actually up 1. Luka got tossed for jawing with a fan. Ref apparently thought he was yelling at him, kicked him out. It was after a made bucket. That was so stupid. So stupid. It completely ruined the basketball game. I mean, OKC probably wins this game because they were, but it was tied pretty much. Anything could have happened at that point. In any event, nothing here changes for the Lakers. Hachimura sat this one out because it was a back-to-back, so that meant Jackson Hayes got to do a little bit more. Lakers are on the second half of a back-to-back today in Dallas. They wanted to give Rui the extra day off in between. I think you probably see most of the Lakers play in this game because they want to try to lock up the 3 seed. They don't want to drop into that 4-5 matchup. And what does that mean? Well, you're going to play the horses. If Rui's back in there, you'd play him over Jackson Hayes, certainly. Dorian Finney-Smith moves back to the bench when Rui's in. And, he's a 3-pointer stream who has center eligibility. That's pretty much all you're getting there. Thunder, you can see Basketball Monster is assuming that OKC is going to rest everybody for their next ball game, which is in Phoenix tonight. They might not. We'll find out as the day goes. There are no surprises with the Thunder. There haven't really been all year. Cason Wallace is your steals streamer. Chet Holmgren is the one you can basically guarantee is out, and so that elevates Wallace a little bit. It elevates Caruso a little bit, who probably rests the back-to-back also. And then, the usuals kind of beyond that. Minnesota lost at Milwaukee. Actually, let's look at the Western Conference playoff standings for a minute. Where's everybody at right now? Lakers are a game up on the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Warriors, and the Grizzlies. Oh, my goodness. All right, so the Lakers really got to win. That's nuts. Wolves are a game back of the Grizzlies, Warriors, Nuggets, and Clippers. This is a bad loss. Kings and Mavs are locked into the 9-10 in some order. Bad loss for Minnesota. Not that they should beat Milwaukee, but I'm sure they wanted to. No surprises there. For Milwaukee, Kevin Porter Jr. has been on a pretty good little run lately. He's very much a play in points leagues. I'm not all the way over the threshold in category formats, but typically he can get you points, usually threes. Didn't make any in this ball game. Points, rebounds, assists, and typically on high turnovers with bad percentages, but the percentages were good here. By the way, also, not to be lost in the shuffle, but Bobby Portis is back. His suspension is over. I don't know if anybody really noticed it happen, but it happened. And he's going to be a free agent in a lot of spots. And with no Dame, I know that Giannis, he's obviously the big difference maker for whether or not Portis is going to get enough stuff to do. But there's just usage to be had. Kyle Kuzma's starting, but for how long? Could they go Portis? I think they'd rather bring him off the bench. Bobby, to me, is a guy you should put on your rosters. With no Dame around, I think there's probably enough usage where he deserves a spot. He's center eligible in most formats. It's probably not going to be a great a monster in percentages because he's just jacking up shots from all around, but he's decent at them at the very least. I mean, you could really see him average 15 points and 8 rebounds the rest of the way. That's pretty good. So Bobby Portis kind of burying the lead a little bit there. Kind of forgot. I'll be honest with you guys. I forgot that Bobby Portis played. Saw it last night. Woke up this morning super early. Kids woke me up. Tired. Got into the box scores. Went, oh, yeah, Bobby Portis. I would make him behind Giannis and Brook Lopez. Portis would be probably kind of a priority add out of yesterday. Throw him on your rosters. Yeah, that's about as far as I'd go there. Warriors blew out the Suns. Suns are the disappointment of the millennium this year. Steph, Pajemski, Jimmy Butler didn't even have to do anything. Draymond Green, those are your guys. Phoenix, I don't even know what to tell you anymore. Devin Booker, you're playing him. Bradley Beal, I guess you're playing him, but he's terrible. Is that it? That might be it right now. They stink. Spurs gave the Clippers a pretty good run for their money. We had one of the Harrison Barnes wake-up games. Overall, for San Antonio, Chris Paul, usually playable. Devin Vassell, usually playable. And then you've got a whole host of category hunting streamers. You know, Barnes, if you needed a few points and a couple of threes. Stephon Castle for terrible efficiency, but points and assists. Who am I forgetting here? Julian Champagny is kind of a mildly well-rounded. Keldon Johnson gives you some points and rebounds. None of these guys is good enough to play everywhere. And then the Clippers are pretty damn predictable these days. Good to see Norman Powell kind of get into the mix a little more. This was the Kawhi Leonard rest day, so you knew there'd be more Bogdanovich, more Norm, more Harden, more same amount of Zoo. Clippers are a pretty easy team to work through. And believe it or not, that's it. We're done. Why are you still here? Go home. It's over. Ferris Bueller. Thanks for watching, everybody. Welcome to the Old Man Squad, to the great Noah Rubin. Good luck these last few days. Hey, stay on top of it. Stay on top of it. Hold on to the rope a little bit longer. Squeeze out those last couple of Roto points. Get those head-to-head wins. Your league should be over if you're in head-to-head right now. Roto, people are always like, oh, what are you doing if you're playing until the end? Well, Roto goes to the end, and it's really not that big of a deal. Everybody has their rest days. You pick up guys, you drop guys. You can make 15 moves a night if you want to. Who cares? Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't before. 5-star review if you haven't before. Like button if you haven't before. And I'll see you guys over on social. At Dan Vespers is my handle on Twitter. Old Man Squad is a double dip. It's the network feed on Twitter, and it's me on Blue Sky. See you guys tomorrow.